Hello, YouTube. Reseller Mom here. Welcome to today's interview. I have Jess Hill here with me, and I'm super excited. I haven't gotten to have her on my channel since I went and looked it up since 2019.
Really?
And yeah, that was the last
That's
time.
a long time. I didn't think it was that long. We have to do this more often. Anytime.
Yes, pretty much. We ought to do way more frequently than what we do, for
Sure.
sure. But thank you for joining us today, and we are super excited. We're going to be going over leveraging retail arbitrage and online arbitrage lists to grow your Amazon business, which I think we could all do that.
Yes.
There's many ways to make a dollar, and you got to learn them all. At least that's what I like to do, is learn many different ways. So just go ahead and do an introduction, and then I want to put where everybody can find you. I've got all your links popped up here.
Absolutely. So I'm Jess Hill, co-founder of E-commerce Empowerment, founder of E-commerce Women Selling on Amazon, Shopify, Etsy, and beyond. We have been friends for a couple of years, so thank you so much for having me on your channel again. So just a little history of who I am and why you should even care. So I have been a full-time e-commerce seller since 2016 with my primary focus on Amazon, and then of course exploring out on Etsy and Shopify, eBay, all of those other platforms. I've been on e-commerce since 1999. That's when I did start on eBay, specifically with my mom. So I have a couple of decades worth of experience on e-commerce, but then of course that full-time since 2016. I run a Facebook group for women in e-commerce, and I am the co-founder of E-commerce Empowerment, where we teach all kinds of different courses on how to sell effectively across platforms. So today we're going to talk about leveraging retail arbitrage and online arbitrage lists to save you time. So as we walk through our business, we are the mastermind of our business. And the one thing we can't buy, they don't have it at stores, is time. So how can we save precious time while sourcing profitable products in stores near us or on online stores from our pajamas, right? So whenever you're ready, if you'd like, I can share my slides.
Well, I've got your slides up too, but I'll let you control them on your side. But let me go through how you can get a hold of Jessica. We'll do this at the beginning, and I'll do it again at the end. And all the links are down below in the description. And let me just go ahead and blow this up really quick. So on Facebook, this is her Facebook page if you want to go be friends with her. This is her e-commerce site group on Facebook. So if you're not part of this group, you should be. It has brought a lot of good information. I love reading the posts. I'm a troll. I go and I troll all the questions and whatnot. And if you're not familiar, if you see a share, something you're interested in, this is like public service announcement. See these 3 dots? You can go turn on notifications for this post. Please do that.
Yeah.
Jessica can be found over here on Instagram, so feel free to follow her there. She's also got links to resources here. This is her website, and so she's got all sorts of stuff up here, different coaching, affiliate links, things like that you could check out. And then, of course, she's got different packages that you can purchase if you need additional help, if you want to get on an OA list, if you want to try something out, maybe you need some sort of help with, like I bought her plan of action templates one time, and that has helped me, write plan of actions for IP complaints that have come up over the years. But she's got all sorts of goodies here that might be beneficial to you. So if you go ahead and let's see here, if I go back, see if I can do it. Yeah. Okay. I can do the controls. I think you have to share your screen. Can we do that?
I can. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Share my screen.
There we go. Okay. Tell me when you're ready and I will add it to the stream.
I'm ready.
All right. Perfect. There we go.
And you see my presentation?
Yes, I do. So I can watch the comments on my screen and you can go over the slides on your screen.
Sure. All right. So we're going to talk about leveraging RA and OA lists to grow your Amazon business. So currently we have leads For Amazon specifically, of course, we would love to expand. We have some Etsy leads on our website, but then, of course, as we grow our Walmart, that's what we're going to be expanding for in the future. But today, we're going to talk about Amazon and really just trying to save that time. So if you're brand new to the community and you're interested in selling on Amazon, I'll give you some terms. So retail arbitrage is the act of purchasing saleable items in retail stores and then selling them on e-commerce sites like Amazon. So if you live in a metropolis, this is a great way to get your foot in the door if you have stores near you. So for me, I live near St. Louis. One of the top stores that I mastered to begin my Amazon journey was Walgreens. We have dozens of Walgreens here. So I always tell my new mentoring clients, when you're starting in retail arbitrage, pick the store that's A, closest to your house, and B, what's most plentiful in your area. So a lot of stores like Walgreens, Walmart, Kohl's, Target, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, those stores are going to be helpful when procuring inventory for your Amazon business when you're shopping in stores. Online arbitrage is the act of purchasing saleable items from online stores and selling them on e-commerce sites like Amazon. So this is very similar to retail arbitrage, only you get to do it from your pajamas. So we're looking at, we actually have a list of about 350, almost 400 stores that we're constantly scanning with Tactical Arbitrage, which is the software that we use. And what we're doing is we are scraping the data from an online site like Walmart, Walgreens, Target, all of those stores that I had mentioned, and then seeing what is profitable on Amazon that we can just buy and either send to our house, our warehouse, or a prep center. So those are the two terms that we'll be talking about. So the big problem that I mentioned earlier was that scanning in stores and online takes time, right? So as the mastermind of your business, as you walk through your business, when I first started, I was like, I got so much time. No. 5 years in, I have no time. Like, that's the one thing that I wish I could buy. So by using a list or you're leveraging that time savings of scanning and looking up and seeing and analyzing. So the solution to this is leveraging a leads list to save time, the one thing we can't buy. So what is a leads list? A list of leads that have been audited for profitability, return on investment, and ranking. So what we are doing is we are leading you to profit. So today we had a one-day list where it was just for Walmart. And what we are doing is we're showing you what products at Walmart right now in your area are selling for a profit on Amazon. So things like in the beauty category, home and garden category, grocery category. If you're thinking about Walmart, you're going to be looking through all of those various categories in your store. Well, that takes a lot of time. So what if we gave you a list that led you to, okay, if this lotion is on sale for the single and this is profitable, then now what other things in that same aisle can you find? So we are leading you to profit. Leveraging leads can help you learn new stores to source. So some of us will get kind of in a rut, like we only source a few stores because those are the stores we know. Well, if you're taking and leveraging a lead list, you might learn how to effectively source in other stores or even in the same store. Like let's say Walmart, let's say you had been only sourcing in the grocery portion of Walmart. Well, now we're showing you things that are profitable in pet and toys and beauty. So we're actually helping you expand or learn what else is profitable at stores and at new stores. Learning the profitability of brands, categories, and product types at the different source locations. So let's say you had just been at Walmart and you had just been sourcing grocery. Now we're helping you learn what brands at Walmart or what brands at the various stores are profitable, what categories are profitable. So really helping you learn to see what is profitable across different stores. And then of course, time management. So we have already spent the time auditing for profitability according to our thresholds so that you can take the guesswork out of it. So that's helpful. So we usually have some questions like how many sellers can join each list. So as per industry standard, there are many different lists. We pride ourselves on good quality lists with excellent feedback. And we do limit our number of sellers to 50 per lead list. We do have a Facebook group for both of the lists. That might have unlimited members. People tend to learn a lot and then go and do it themselves, and which we appreciate and like that they are learning. And that's the same thing. So in 2019 is when I really started doing online arbitrage more for myself. And I hired my first virtual assistants. So I had been on lead lists, and then I had learned tactical arbitrage. And then now I am supplying leads to others as I've learned effective ways of sourcing. No leads are to be shared in the group. So when you're in the Facebook group, we don't share leads there. You're in a specific course on our website that has the list of leads specific to your subscription. Our leads are posted Monday through Friday. And then if we have a holiday, we typically will give you the leads before if it's available. So if the holiday is Thanksgiving, we're going to be giving you the leads prior to Thanksgiving is what I'm trying to say. And then we do have a big question about, well, Jess, what if I'm restricted? I'm a new seller. So what we try to do to help this is post a variety of leads from many different categories and stores. So no two accounts are the same. So we can't predict what every single one of our members is going to be engaged in. But what we also do, in addition to the lead list, is we supply the method and the example products for grocery, pet, toys, toy brands, automotive, and more. So in both of the retail arbitrage and online arbitrage lead groups, you get those methods. We tell you where to go, what to do, how to submit it, and what to buy. So it kind of takes the guesswork out of it. So those are both in the online arbitrage loot course and the retail arbitrage loot course. So I have another question. I'm just a small time seller. Is this for me? So it doesn't matter how big or small you might be. The one thing you cannot buy is time. So we're striving to help you save time by providing the leads so you can take those to the various stores nearby for doing retail arbitrage, or of course, save time doing online arbitrage. So like what I like to do is I have my runs, my tactical arbitrage runs. I get my audits done. And then at 6 o'clock in the morning, while I'm drinking my coffee before my kids wake up, I go and I purchase my online arbitrage. Like I have a set goal of $5,000 per month that I need to spend via online arbitrage. So I'm going every morning and purchasing until I reach that goal and then sending them to my prep assistant. So that helps save me time. I can get that done in the morning and then I can go on to do my other tasks. So like I mentioned, the ungating resources are provided. We check all of our leads for hazmat. So we don't want to have anything that's hazardous. Like that's not everyone has hazmat approval. So you won't see anything that's like aerosol or flammable, like nail polish or anything like that. We take those out. We check all of our leads for IP claim history. So we have a database of over 2,000 brands and ASINs that have a history of IP complaints. And so we remove any of those. And then all of our leads are audited by the United States team. So we do leverage people in the Philippines. We have a team of 4 virtual assistants that help us with this. But then we always do that final audit to ensure that everything matches and it's within the thresholds that we share. So I just wanted to give the March statistics. It's almost the end of April, which I will be reporting to the group the April statistics in May, of course. But just so you know, like what you're getting yourself into, or if you're interested, for the retail arbitrage leads, we promise 225 leads. So you're going to get 10 plus leads per day. Monday through Friday. And then just so you know, we always give it extra, right? A little extra. So we shared 285 total leads with a potential profit of $2,004. So if you join the retail arbitrage leads list, which we're actually going to be giving you a discount, so I don't even want to say how much it is, but then you're getting that potential profit. For the online arbitrage leads list, we have 3 different types of lists. And so if you're looking to sell clothing and shoes, that is our most profitable individual list. Like if you were looking to just source clothing and shoes for March, the potential profit was $9,827, which is pretty phenomenal. Now, I will say that the clothing and shoes, you will need to be ungated in big brands like Nike, Under Armour, and Adidas. We do report those. So just so you know, it's not all. I would say about 30 to 40% of our clothing and shoes are going to be in those big brands. So just be mindful of that. We promised 215 leads. We shared 299, which is a good bonus. For the toys and games list, we promised 215. We shared 299 with a potential profit of 3,237. That is a very popular list, especially during Q4. And then we have 2 online arbitrage everyday essentials. So those are going to be grocery, home and garden, beauty, topicals, things like that, pet, that are kind of like everyday essentials that people are buying over and over, kind of like a replens, but we don't want to say replens just because I can't promise that it's going to be a replen for every account. But for those 2 different lists, we promised 215 leads for the essentials one. We delivered 299 with a potential profit of $2,135. And then everyday essentials 2, we promised 215. We delivered 297 with a potential profit of $2,441. So for this initiative in March, we shared over $19,644 worth of profitable leads. So when you're thinking about, okay, I need to find this many, I need to source this much, I need to procure this much, I need to sell this much, those numbers can correlate with what you're buying in the stores to help you reach those milestones in your Amazon business. So this is the current availability. They do tend to fill up. So when they fill up, I will be removing them from the website, the option to purchase. So we have our premium online arbitrage leads where you get all 3 lists. So you get everyday essentials, clothing and shoes, and toys and games. We currently have 6 spots for that available. Our everyday essentials, we have 10 spots available. Clothing and shoes, we have 9 spots available. Like I said, that's the most profitable individual list. If you can sell clothing and shoes, if you're interested in selling clothing and shoes, we have 11 spots available for toys and game. And then for retail arbitrage, we have 9 spots available. So just so you know, that one usually does fill up. As people start learning retail arbitrage, they might jump off of it, or if they find replens, that's when they jump off because they're like, well, we already have our replens. So those are the availability of our current lists. And for the reseller mom community, we're going to give 20% off all lists through Sunday, May 2nd at midnight. You'll have to use her affiliate link and then the code reseller mom. So you'll want to do that because the coupon won't work unless you use her affiliate link. So at this time, I'm happy to take questions about online arbitrage, questions about selling on retail arbitrage, sourcing via retail arbitrage. So let me know, did we have any questions come through while I was going over?
No, it's been pretty quiet, but I had some things that I would just was saying in my head, not out loud.
Yeah.
The amount of, so I was on the leads list for a while. I got off during Q4 when things got crazy. And just the number of different stores that it opened up my mind to was good. And it was a learning experience, and it can be a lot. So it can be a little overwhelming. Yes. And then learning all the different stores, because every store has different returns and shippings and this and that and the other. So learning the different stores also expanded my mind and business and stuff. And when you were talking in the beginning about learn your area,
yes,
that's huge. That's huge, people. I see every once in a while people complain, oh, I don't have this or I don't have that. And it's like, no, look at what you do have, because, I could sit here and complain that I don't have Dollar Generals. I don't. The closest Dollar General is 3 hours away. There's no way I'm going to ever go sourcing there.
Right.
I'm not going to drive 3 hours for Dollar General. But I could either be negative about it or just be like, but I have this other store available to me. And if you don't have stores available, then you have online. You need to master what's available to you and not complain about what's not available to you.
Right. And there's so much,
there is
so much opportunity that it's easy to get stuck though, because like before I joined my first retail arbitrage group, I was stuck. I was only sourcing at Dollar Tree, Michael's, and Kohl's. Those were my three go-tos, right?
Yeah.
But then as I started learning, and literally it's funny because like I'm at Kohl's and right next door was like Party City and PetSmart. Like there were other stores that were literally World Market. You know, they were right there at my fingertips, and I just never had gone in.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I talk about with my mentoring clients is learn one, and then do another, and then do another. So send that first box, learn that first store, you know, list that first item, and then repeat the process, but always be doing the next thing in your business to get better and better. Because that's how, you know, over 5 years, selling over $2 million online, that's how I was able to do it, by taking that next right step in my business to learn the next new method of being profitable online.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you are, that is just so true. And once you learn a store, I still go back into stores that I feel like I know pretty well, and I still find things. I'm like,
Right.
oh, I never looked at that section. And you know, it opens up my eyes to other things. And then you start combining things up and making bundles or whatnot, and it's even a whole nother new world. So there is just not enough time in the day. Even if you mastered everything, you still wouldn't be a master.
Right. For sure. For sure. I know that. And like, I really do like finding those hidden listings, you know, because there's less competition, especially for those multi-packs. So we had quite a few multi-packs that we reported today with very low competition. So that's very nice for our list subscribers, because then they can be more confident in what they're procuring as inventory wise. So for sure. And like, I eat primarily gluten-free because it hurts my belly, but a lot of people don't know, like they don't think of that, like that specialty food, that interesting food, that other dieting type food that would be a really good seller. So like, that's another thing that we're helping teach you is like, what out of your comfort zone, like what other categories, departments, and products and brands are also profitable compared to what you already know, right? So that's a big one too.
Oh yeah, you learn so many little nuggets of information. Like somebody posted, I don't remember which group it was on Facebook last night or this morning, it was recent, but they posted about, you know, those Amazon questions that people ask you.
Yeah.
Somebody had asked if vitamin K was in it, and they're like, was it yours?
Sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody piped up and said, well, because the vitamin K is with blood thinners or interacts with blood thinners differently. And I'm like, and there's another piece of information that will be stuck in my head that I probably won't use, but
who would have known that? Like, and then you are, you know, and then that response is just helpful to learn why someone would ask that, right? Because you're looking at this like, this is just like Hershey's chocolate sauce. Why would you? Yeah. But it's because they really want to have it. And they probably take blood thinners, right? So so that's probably, but yeah, sometimes Amazon customers ask weird questions. But that one was, I'm glad we had that, because it was like, oh wow, I didn't even know that, you know?
Yeah, it was a little learn something new today.
Learned it, done, checked it off.
So I want to kind of go through the problems that I've had in past OA lists, and then maybe you can explain how you solve them or don't have them, or to go around them, or whatnot. And I think the biggest one is price tanking. Yeah. A lot of these OA lists are similar runs to them, similar tactical arbitrage runs, and they're similar to other OA lists out there. Is there anything you do to kind of combat that, or how bad is the price tanking?
Well, we haven't had a lot of feedback as far as like, oh, we've seen this tank, I feel like this was shared. We haven't had, and we've been doing lists since last April, so it's been a year. We've had a lot of great feedback on, I wish you would run more lists. And I'm like, well, we don't have the time for that or the resources. But so for us, you know, we're just constantly, we make sure that it meets our thresholds, right? And that it is, we have our 3-step process. So we have the first VA run the leads. We have the second VA who audits the leads. Well, they audit their leads and then they supply it to the VA number 2. And then he master audits on their side. And then we come over and we audit it one more time because, sometimes we did have one error this week. They've gotten so good at it, where it was just really hard to see the packaging was just a little bit different, but then we caught that it was a sizing issue. But otherwise, with the price tanking, we haven't had a lot of people let us know they've had that problem. And I think that we have several different lists, so you can join a list that's more appropriate to your business model.
You talked a bit about your spending goal. How do you calculate your spending goal and whatnot? I'm always curious as to how people do that because everybody kind of does the same, but then they have their own tweaks to it.
Right. And I think that will be dependent on your capital, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody's capital is different. But as you are looking at, okay, so the first 18 months, I didn't take a payout from Amazon. I just built the business. I luckily had money that would pay my bills. And then after that, so then you're looking at, okay, I'm getting back this much in profit every month consistently or, whereabouts. So if you had $10,000 that you were getting back, I use a profit first model. So I'm going to split it into 3 buckets. You could split it into 4. I split mine into 3. So I have 15% of my payouts are going to taxes, to a tax bucket. I live in Missouri, so I can stick with 15%. If you're in a more expensive state, I would probably go with 17. And then I split it between like 40% and is that 40 and then 45? Yeah, that's 85. Okay, so 40% is going into my profit bucket. And then 45, sorry, I'm doing the math, so I'm not wrong. 45% is going back into the business, okay? So whatever that 45% is, so you can adjust those numbers as you see fit. If you want to take less profit, you could have more money to rotate back into the business. If you want to take more profit, then you'll have less money to rotate back into the business. So this is when I'm talking, I am a mentor and I have lots of mentoring clients. We talk through this pretty frequently. So if I'm going with 45% back into the business and I have $10,000 coming back to me every month, so that gives me $4,500 to go back into my business. Okay, I'm going to just use solid numbers because it's a lot easier. Adjust as appropriate. Pause the video, go back, right? So now I have that $4,500. Well, now I need to pay for Inventory Lab. I need to pay for Keepa. If I have tactical arbitrage or whatever else, if I have a repricer, I got to take that off. And then if I need to re-up on my shipping supplies. So don't forget, like if you need boxes, go and get them, right? And then whatever is left over. So let's just say I have $3,000 left over. So then now I have, okay, it's kind of good that we're talking at the end of April. So let's say I have $3,000 for the month of May to spend. So now I'm walking through how am I going to spend that money in an effective way on profitable products that meet my criteria, that can move my business forward so that I can do it again in April or in June, right? So that's where I get a spend goal. It'll be dependent on what that profit, however you run your, I use Profit First, right? If you're running it, that's a great, if you've never heard of Profit First, I would read it. I would, because it's helpful for e-commerce sellers to kind of break down, okay, well, that's how I want to run it, or how do you figure that out, right? Mm-hmm. So that's how I figure out a spend goal. And then that way, now I can say, can I spend it in the first week, and get it all prepped out and get it all done and then keep going on the next week, right? So that's kind of how I do it.
That's always fun to hear. I love listening to how everybody kind of plans out their month, their week, their life, both in, both in e-commerce and like just meal planning and running kids and all of that good stuff. Yes. Because you do have to find a balance and figure it out.
Yes.
It's probably the toughest part, I have to say, is
for sure.
Finding stuff to sell is the easy part. Finding time and managing everything is where everything starts to get a little
for sure. My list is ridiculous. Absolutely.
So walk us through a typical day. You get your online arbitrage list, and then how long do you spend ordering? Do you order every day, once a week, do you do all your stores at one time? How do you break that down with using the list?
Sure. So it depends on the spend goal. So let's just say I had $3,000. I wanted to spend $1,000 a week for the first 3 weeks of the month, and then have that last week be for any prep and admin work. So typically I'll get up at 6 o'clock, like I said, do my online arbitrage, and it'll be dependent on what I'm finding. So if I'm going to be sourcing Nike shoes from Kohl's, right, then I can go and get that done. And then of course that's going to be relevant to the sales cycle at that store. And then what capital do I have left on which card, right? So that's also a dependent factor. But then once I get my stuff going, that all goes to my prep assistant. So I don't prep anything at my house anymore, which is like a really good thing, because it's a hot mess. But so then for the online arbitrage specifically, I will go ahead and create an inventory lab batch. So let's say this morning I shopped at Kohl's. I go ahead and create my inventory lab batch. I say Kohl's, and then I put the date. And then Jordan knows that as she's receiving things because sometimes Kohl's will send things in 3 different boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as she's receiving things, she can see the order date on the packing slip and reconcile that. So she's reconciling that batch and inventory lab and letting me know. We have constant communication. Hey, I received this. Okay, so let's say this happens a couple times. Let's say I'm ordering Carter's pajamas from Kohl's, and I ordered I limit my orders to 5 of any one single item. So let's say 3T unicorn pajamas. I will buy 5 of those. Well, sometimes I get 6 of the 3T and 4 of the 4T. So she reconciles the quantity.
We were just talking about that because you see all my boxes in the background here. I was starting to open them up because I wanted to get them prepped so that my lady could prep while I'm doing this thing. And I look at them, I'm like, they just threw whatever they wanted into the boxes and shipped it.
I know.
Do you even listen to what I order?
Right. No. Well, and for Target, we had that shared the other day to say that it's a gift purchase if it's something that is like a topical, like a liquid, mm-hmm. because then they will shrink wrap it.
So that is excellent.
Hot tip. And it's not just for Target, right? That's just what she said. She was like, I can't remember. Shout out to who said it because I can't remember right now. But she said, I put in that it was a gift. Mm-hmm. And she even said, attention Target gift department or something like that. So if you are buying, and so for me, another hot tip, if you're buying things in jars, like glass jars, mm-hmm. always mark those as a gift, because I've had a couple of times where it was Farm and Fleet. Mm-hmm. And I bought, and man, it was 12 jars. They did not pack them. Maybe one was still viable. And so things to think about when you're doing OA, I guess would be like the theme of this, is doing that gift. If they have that gift option, mark it, right? Because A, you might get extra prep that you might not have to do when it gets to you. And B, hopefully your items come a little bit better. I mean, I feel like they should always send it the way it should be all the time, but sometimes you have to go that extra mile. Yeah.
I broke my Target down yesterday. I was doing my big online arbitrage Target order, and I'm playing around with the shipped service. I'm trying to figure out how much they actually charge me for my items so I could see if it's worth it. But I hate the way they put the prices here and then over here, and then just give me it's like they don't want you to know what you're paying.
Right.
So anyhow, I just decided to do the free shipping, and my order was at $400 or $500, and I'm like, ooh, no, because they're just going to find the biggest box they can and throw everything.
They sure will.
I went down, broke it into about $60 to $100 orders, and did 4 or 5 of those, because then they'll ship it in smaller boxes.
That's a good tip too. And then I do a lot of pickup. So especially in mm-hmm. Q4, we have 7 targets that we rotate. And so I will get up early. I'll put in my order for each target, but mm-hmm. I will assign both myself and Jordan for pickups. So there's 2 people. So I have my 4, and then she picks up at the 3. She's about 30 minutes from me. I act like you guys can see out my window, but you can't.
Just over there.
Yeah, just over there. So then I say, okay. And then I email her when they email me, your order is ready. And she does the rotation And then she's on my My Like You, so she just swipes those miles, right?
Yeah.
So those are some tips as far as like, it's kind of like an RA-OA hybrid where you're ordering it from home, but now they will actually bring it out to your vehicle, which is great because you're still getting them that day. So you can prep them or list them or whatever you want to do, like pretty much immediately, right? So those, and then of course the reconciliation, because sometimes between when I order it and when they have the pickup, one or two of the Barbies specifically get sold on the floor because they're going out to the floor, picking them out and then putting them in a cart and then bringing them to our car. So we do that reconciliation. So that's another, like, there's a lot of things like I don't want to always say it's RAOA because a lot of our things on our list could be both. But, for the RA list specifically, that is found in stores near you. Like that's how we know that it's been either here in St. Louis or up near Detroit where my business partner lives, that's where the stores, it's found in stores near you. So that's why, in Retail Arbitrage, we found these. They could also be purchased online, sometimes. So it's kind of like, you could do a hybrid. And especially with COVID, like one of the blessings of COVID is that they're doing more of that curbside pickup. So you have less having to go in the stores.
Very true. Very true. So my problems with Retail Arbitrage are usually about the same with online arbitrage and with the pickup, because I've been given expired items. I've had smashed items. I did a Lego set and I went to go pick it up and it was like somebody had punched it. And I'm like, why are you trying to sell me this? You can see it's damaged.
Right.
And they want to, why are you charging me full price? It's frustrating, but when I have the people deliver it out to the car, I usually am like, can you check the expiration dates? I'm not going to use it for 3 months.
Yeah. I always do that with my Instacart. So my Instacart for Aldi specifically, I just put it on every single product. Like on a note, I just have the same note, check expiry and package condition, right? And it helps. And because, when I order my stuff from Aldi, I have the person will text me and say, look, these are not, the packaging is not, and I'm like, just skip it. It's fine. Just take it off, and so that's very helpful to just communicate with if you're doing those pickups. And I just put it on every single item because I don't think that they'll see it if I only put it once, or I think it will be more available.
You have to put it everywhere and you have to spell it out. I said, absolutely no substitutions. Please, ever. No substitutions ever. Don't text me about the substitutions. And they still text me. They're like, we don't have this. We don't have this flavor. Do you want that flavor? No, I said
no. It's my organic ketchup. They always try to replace it with the Schnucks brand. And I'm like, no, then just don't get it. Like I'll go somewhere else. Stop. Two times. That's okay though.
I've had my Instacart delivered to the other block. Had to go.
Yes. Well, there's 3810. That my number is 3810, and there's a 3810 on the other side of. And I'm like, but now we know each other. We just text each other. Did you see my package?
I live on a street, and then the next is the same numbers but place. I'm like, who named this neighborhood? That's ridiculous.
That's how mine is.
I made my husband go with me to like drive around the neighborhood, and I made him jump out of the car. I'm like, go get my order off of the porch.
Yeah, I made friends with her because I was like, the gal, I've been here for 12 years, and the gal that was there, I actually made friends with her too, because I'm like, we're going to get each other's packages. The addresses are so alike, and it has to do with the county lines and I don't care. But, so she moved, and then when she moved, she was actually the real estate. She sold her own house basically. So she came over and was like, hey, this is Jess. Hey, but now we know each other. So it's kind of nice. I mean, we know each other, right? But then, if we get each other's, it's always our grocery, but usually it's our own groceries. So it's like, I have 5 minutes, I need to cook dinner, and it's over there. And I'm like, dang it.
Yeah. Now, can I ask, do you use Shipt or not for Target? I know they do some other stores, but.
I don't use Shipt at this time. I mean, obviously I could try it.
Well, I'm just wondering if there's a reason, because that's one of the things I'm exploring right now for.
Oh, no, just that I haven't explored it. I do Instacart because I have mastered that with Aldi, right? Now you guys are all going to tank my prices. But, and then.
I don't have an Aldi, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, good. Well, your
I
community.
won't.
It doesn't matter. It's fine. But we usually do pick up for Target, and then pick up for Michael's. And then I do a lot of online arbitrage, so I haven't, but I mean, I would be interested to know if it's working for others, try it.
I'm trying it out. I just got to sit there and play with the prices and see how much it's taking off, because it's already lower.
Yeah, I would look at the total and then reconcile your inventory lab batch, if that's what you're doing. I don't know how you structure. You might put, you could, sometimes I'll put one inventory lab batch for only one item. Like if it's, I have 25 of these and then I just ship them out. So I guess that's how I do it. I just reconcile the total cost against my receipt and make sure that it is minimally, that's what it is. But I always put in a cushion for my, 25 cents or so for my prepping materials.
Yeah. And do you tip your Instacart person? That's the other one that I'm kind of debating with, like, what a good tip is or not a good tip. It's kind of a new thing, Instacart and Shipped is a new service.
Yeah, so I do a minimum of 15% tip because that's how they get paid. So it has to, like, my return has to be, significantly more with the tip, with the total amount after all said and done. So Instacart, you can see the total amount before you hit purchase, like order or whatever. So that's interesting if you're not seeing what your total because they have a little calculator. Like if you press 15%, it'll show, okay, this is it. This is with delivery and everything. So that's what
Shipped isn't as nicely set up as Instacart, and that's where I'm trying to find the thing. I probably just need to play with it, but I'm curious with what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, I always add the 15% tip because that's how they make. That's how they're saving me time, so I don't have to go there. So that's their compensation, I guess.
Yeah, I feel that way too. It's a toss up between whether I can get there or not get there in time, because my target's a little bit further than what I'd like it to be. Yeah. So if you were thinking about doing one of these lists and you were thinking about going down that route, what would be the top software or tools you would also recommend in this business?
Right. So, the list, we have it done for you. So we are looking at, we're sourcing through tactical arbitrage. We're scanning, scraping the data. We are looking at Keepa. We're looking at the hazmat restricted Chrome extension, and then our AMZ IP alert to make sure that it's not on that 20 or 2000 list. So you don't actually need any other software. I always recommend you have Keepa and Inventory Lab to manage your Amazon business. And you might want to, I would actually recommend at least having Keepa, because you can look. So when you join our list, if you join our list today, you actually get all of our historical leads, which I think I should have put on the slides. So you could actually look back and since January, we loaded all of our lists since this January 2021. And you could also go back and audit all those other stores and see what other things might still be profitable, especially when we're talking replens, right? So if you just copied the list from January, February, March, and then you sorted by Walmart, and then you sorted by grocery, and then you go through and see which ones might still be good, viable, and for replens, so that you would want to have at least Keepa. You might want to have Reseller. Reseller Chrome extension's really good for helping you with that profitability calculator right on the Amazon website. So for that's a tool that is highly recommended. Obviously, if you're on a small budget, just be mindful of what your budget is. You can do those calculations manually. That's okay too. But for the ease of use, right? When we're trying to save time. So Keepa, Inventory Lab, Reseller, those are things that you might want to have. And then auditing those previous lists. So all you could, really, it would be like, if you join today, then you could click copy. It's a Google sheet. And then you could audit January, February, March. Obviously, the Valentine's candy you're not going to sell because it's not on sale, right? But other things, and see what else is profitable on top of the leads that you get every day.
Mm-hmm. I think if I were to suggest programs, it would be LastPass for password keeping.
Yes.
Some sort of password keeping, because I think I now have 300 passwords saved in there. and most of them are online arbitrage
Oh,
stores.
413, I think, is
Yeah,
mine. I didn't
it's
see that.
unbelievably. And then I really like having dual monitors. You'll see me look over here because I've got the comments over here, but dual monitors has been really, really helpful.
Game
And
changer.
just figuring out all of the different, even like a cheat sheet, especially if you're just starting out, because there's stores that are pro seller. There's stores like Target that don't really like resellers.
Yeah.
So, having a limit or having notes on which store does what, and, which store has pickups, which store has not pickups, because I tell you, it can be very overwhelming if you start adding 15 new stores to your repertoire and keeping them all straight.
Yes. And that's when, when you're a new seller, I always tell you start with one, master it, and then start another. But yeah, I do like that more and more stores have a pickup option these days. It's really nice to just sit in my car and play on TikTok. I mean, work and then wait for my items I open the trunk of my van and then here it all comes, So I do like that. But yeah, absolutely. So we teach store mastery in our retail arbitrage basics and advanced class. And then we have our online arbitrage made easy course, which are all on our website. You could get through your affiliate link. So there's a lot to learn, but I think the opportunity is immense on Amazon to, the #1 global selling platform on the planet. So, it's pretty exciting.
And then let me ask you, because you said your packer gets everything prepped and packed and everything. And when you're purchasing, I assume you're purchasing between maybe 1 to 20 of an item.
Yeah.
Is that okay? And then do you have the fulfillment centers set up to optimize on shipping or to optimize on one location? And how do you deal with that? That's a struggle when you're doing retail arbitrage or online and you get, 3 of 50 different things and it wants to break up your shipments all the time. What do you got for tips and suggestions there?
Yeah. So for me, I tried the inventory placement. I live in St. Louis. So all of my, okay, I shouldn't say all, 80 to 85% of my stuff goes to Chicago. So I'm kind of at an advantage because my assistant's only 30 minutes away. So she's still in the St. Louis region. So my grocery items, my beauty items, my topical typically goes to MDW2. And then if I go and do shoes and stuff, that's where it goes to SDF2 or 1 or something like that. And then of course in Q4 it gets everywhere, So I've kind of tested it, and I guess it's dependent on how many of something. Like I do sell a lot of wholesale bundles, so those are all going, like if I do 10 bundles, they're typically going to the same place. So I guess it would be dependent on that, and then of course location, because like if you're down in South Florida, it's gonna go far, So for me, I don't really have inventory placement wasn't an advantage, is what I'm trying to say.
Me neither.
Right. I'd rather have my stuff online quicker than get rerouted for 30 cents more or whatever the cost is now. So I did test it. I did do it for a while. And then I was like, you know what? It's still going to Chicago. Why would I pay for it to go to Chicago right? Like, so for me, it wasn't worth it, but you could always test it. So that I don't do inventory placement.
Yeah, I tried it on I think I tested it for a month, and I still shipped mainly I go to SMF as my go-to location. So still 80-90% of my stuff went to SMF, and then it still shipped out from there. I'm like, why did you?
But you got to see, because if we were different, you might be going all kinds of places. It just depends, but always test and see, or you can test or just not, like take our word for it. But I think it does matter if you're only sending 10 things and they get routed to 5 places, like you're like, this isn't worth it. So try to fill that box. Try to fill it up, right? Get a good amount of things, even if you're just shopping at the Dollar Tree, to kind of fill that box so the cost per item to ship to the warehouses goes lower.
So what I've seen recently, and I'll say recently, like within the last 4 months, because it feels like they change it about twice a year.
All the time.
The parameters of everything. Yeah. If I have more than 20 of an item, it's going to SMF, period. 20 is the magical number. Sometimes 18, 20 at most. if I put 1 in the order, I can up it up to 7 as a maximum. So if I've got anything between 1 and 7, I just automatically put 1, and then I adjust it once the batch goes through, and it's fine with that instead of trying to push and get to several different locations.
That's a good, I didn't think of that. And I've been selling it full time for 5 years.
I'm sure they'll catch up with that little trick soon,
So when you get to Seller Central, you adjust it because you have that.
No, I adjust it in Inventory Lab, but it's on the last when you're filling up the box and you're assigning things to boxes.
Then you do it.
Yep.
Aha! Smart. Yeah.
So nice. And then I'm shipping out so much. If it's between 7 and 20, I'll just put the next chunk in the next batch the next week. So we'll wrap it all at the same time, and I'll just break it up into the next shipment. But that's been playing with me, and I feel like I can't. I mean, I could tell everybody that information right now, but it may be dated in 2 weeks. It's
for sure.
Play around with the numbers.
I just wrote my first Amazon book, and I was like, okay, we're not going to share this because I bet in 3 weeks it's going to change. The IPI, right? I'll just say, go to Amazon and talk, because I feel like IPI does change. It's good to have. I think they made it better, so I agree with you.
On storage limits changed last week, so I was like, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I know people were
in my favor.
Like, wait a minute, don't complain until you look in your account. You might have, and then they're like, oh, my bad.
Mine is all good except for my hazard. I have 0 hazard available, and I'm over my limit.
Sell it. Is it sunscreen?
No, it's 0. I have 0.
Wait, you don't have any?
I don't have any hazmat in right now, and I'm over my limit, and it's giving me a red flag. And I'm just like, I can't call and talk to the reps about this because
outsource it.
This has got to.
Yeah, find someone in the group to make that call for you. I'm not kidding.
I think they'll work it out. Like Amazon has so many weird things. I'm like, usually if I wait 3 days, it works itself out.
Right, but I would get on it because hazmat is really good with sunscreen. I was just talking to Gabrielle about that today. I was like, sunscreen is coming.
Yeah, I shipped out my first batches of sunscreen this week since last fall.
Yeah, and so if you guys don't know, source your sunscreen, okay? Because it's profitable. Get ungated in topicals. Do it.
Pretty much. There was so your book, do you want to talk about that, or is that not?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So I just wrote just a little journey book, and just like the basics of getting started on Amazon, because I feel like in the industry, it can be really hard for the new person, right? There is so much information, there are so many videos, there's so many groups and everything. So it's really just that basics of what Amazon selling is, and then what the models are, right? So online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, wholesale, and private label, right? It's just a basics book. But I just wanted to give that cheat sheet to the community so they can just figure out if they want to do it, and it's kind of funny because my dad was a poet. He wrote poetry. He was published. So my mom had an English major. We come from this like literature writer background. I'm a scientist, like, let's be real here, but it's always been on my bucket list to write a book. And I've always been a technical writer. When I was in corporate, I worked for biotech and pharmaceuticals for 13 years. And so when I was talking to my business partner, and I was like, maybe if I wrote a book, then I could help more people just figure out if it's something they want to do. Because I think that's one of the biggest questions is, do I even want to do this? Right. And then what are the options? And so that's what this first book is. The manuscript just went to my editor, which is super crazy and like terrifying, but every day I try to do something new. So you're actually the first person that's ever we've gone live with my thoughts between Gabriella and I, and then I posted one thing, the other day. So that's what it's how I made my first $1 million, or how I sold my first $1 million on Amazon. And then it just walks you through that basics and then what the models are. And then you can take that information and say, I would really like to explore X. And then you can go and explore that.
Nice. Oh, well, that's going to be great. Is it going to be hard or Kindle?
We're going to do all of it. We're going to do e-copy, and we're going to do paperback. And it's going to be on Amazon and Apple.
That's exciting. So
I know.
I'll keep my eyes out for that to come down. And then what else do you got planned this year? I mean, COVID kind of made everybody, I guess, what was your big takeaways when COVID hit? And then what are your plans going forward?
What was my big takeaway? Well, the expansion of e-commerce by 40%. So I feel super blessed because I am not in the camp where we weren't making money, right? The opportunities were actually endless with e-commerce. As if you guys have followed me, or if you do start following me, you'll see that I have 18 e-commerce income streams. And so really expanding my Etsy stores last year was really great. And I actually, I ran out of so much inventory in Q4 and I was kicking myself because, when you start something new, it's like, oh, you gotta see your risk tolerance. And so I was like, it was, I think December 3rd, and I was just out of inventory. I was like, man, so, but that's good. It's a good problem. I'm not complaining by any means. But then just knowing, and I think my kids are going to be a little bit like jaded about it all, right? Because I teach and I hire teachers, experts in the e-commerce industry to teach for e-commerce empowerment. So I'm really like, I have all the tools in my tool belt, right? So if you wanted to become a blogger, last night we talked about building your first website and leveraging WordPress, if you wanted to do affiliate marketing. So for me, the expansion of the courses on e-commerce empowerment have helped me, and the hiring of new experts have helped me just learn. I'm a perpetual learner about what the opportunities are and like how you can make it fit with your lifestyle, or more importantly, how you can leverage what you find fulfilling and monetize it. Right. Mm-hmm. So I really love coaching. I had no idea that I wanted to be a coach or a teacher. I just wanted to stay home with my kids and sell Halloween costumes from my basement. Right. Because that's how I got started, was Halloween costumes. And I wanted to go to their field trips and I wanted to do, so in the past year, just really understanding that e-commerce is exploding. There is no end in sight. There are more people on the platforms that were not on the buying side. There are more customers than there ever were before because of COVID. And that the opportunities to leverage the things that you find fulfilling and monetize what you find fulfilling in life is completely there. Like your parents might have said, you can do anything when you grow up. It was actually true. Like you really can if you put your mind to it. So I think that, like, I just feel very, very grateful for everything that we have, and like the fact that I have this knowledge right at my fingertips.
Yes, it's been interesting, and you're so right. I've talked to my kids too about that. They're getting in the teenage years in the high school, and I said, you don't have to go to college. I would really like that. Yeah. I won't lie. That's right. I strongly encourage college. But if you have a plan or a passion that you can tell me what that plan or passion is, then I could support that. But you can't just say, I want to play video games and sleep in late and have me be okay with that and skip college.
Max, my son, he wants to be the best extreme. And I'm like, well, maybe you can while you're 16, but then I still want you to go get like some kind of business degree, learn something, learn a skill, so
have something that you can do. And I was talking to my son about YouTube and Twitch and all of that, and gaming streaming. I said, gaming streaming, if I had told my parents I was going to be a professional gaming streamer growing up, they would have like, no, go back to college. It's not even going to happen. Right. But these days I'm like, esports is real and gaming is real and teams are real and there's ranking. So if that's something you want to go down, but you need to have a plan. You can't just, but there's so many different ideas and cool things to do and neat ways to make money. There's a lot of opportunities there. Are you, just last question, unless if anybody's got any other questions in there, this is your last chance. And my last question is, are you on Walmart yet or not?
So everybody's asking me that. I don't have enough. I have too many irons in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not on Walmart, and I am honest about that. We have people that are experts in e-commerce empowerment that teach how to effectively sell on Walmart and specifically how to navigate, because I don't know the platform. Esther is very good at it, and she's also very good at speaking with their seller central, speaking with how to manage the returns and stuff like that. So I don't know that at this time I'll be able to put that iron in the fire, just because I do already have 18 income streams. But I do know that Walmart is a very viable and up and coming platform, right? They're very much going to be in competition with Amazon, but right now the amount of competition is so low. So think of it when Amazon really first started, 1995, 1999, those first entries, even back in 15, it was so easy. You could flip stuff from eBay, but whatever, we're not talking about that. And that's how it kind of is on Walmart. But with growth on any platform, there's going to be bumps and bruises, right? So I haven't heard very positive things about Deliver. So people are more apt to fulfill themselves, which is whatever, right? Maybe you're just cross posting. So what I always say is, if you already have a great replen on Amazon, take that replen to Walmart, because I bet if it's selling on Amazon, it's going to sell on Walmart, right? And so that's what I always kind of think about. If you're going to be doing replens, put them on several sites, all the sites that are appropriate. Just expand that replen model. That could literally be how you make money all year long, especially if it's an evergreen replen. But to your point, I'm not on Amazon or on Walmart. I am on Amazon, but I do have experts in e-commerce empowerment that are on Walmart. So are you on Walmart yet?
I have done the application, but only, so yes and no. My print-on-demand shirts are on Walmart, and it's integrated with my Shopify store over there onto Walmart.
There you go.
I'm not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have a little baby, my little baby Shopify store that's about a year old now, and I am growing that, and it's been my back burner plan of what I'm playing with. So I'm not by any means an expert or anything. So anyhow, my Shopify store is integrated with the Walmart platform, so you can find my products on walmart.com. But for reselling and whatnot, I am not. But I did that application yesterday, and mainly only because if I can get in and just put my foot in the door, if I need to, then I could walk into it or not.
Right. And just find, I mean, you could just find, your first 5 products that are tiny, little, and ship them from home, for a good profit. Like that's how I'm kind of thinking, because then at least you have that opportunity should you need it, right? Because diversity. And you don't want to, like I said, several income streams, so that if one goes down, you've got all these other ones that are paying bills, and that's really what it's all about. Profitability and leveraging those bill payments. Pretty much. But Shopify to Walmart integration would be interesting for me to learn from you. Interesting. I like that.
It's run by a third-party service, so it's not really my integration. I bought the integration platform, and that's so I do have a VA, and she's in the Philippines, so that comes with a whole culture and learning curve. And then the Shopify integration platforms, they integrate into both Etsy and to Walmart, and it's two different apps. Shopify, it's all about apps.
Yes.
Anyhow, they're all out of India, and that's another learning curve and talk and whatnot, because some of the things they think is normal is not a normal for Americans.
Right. But it's good to have that. That's another great income stream, especially when you don't have to touch the products because they're print on demand.
Yeah, so that's what I'm building up. So then that way I can be completely lazy and just travel. That's my
right.
I don't want to work at all.
That's right. Me neither. I want to get my husband home and go do stuff, or just not do.
I don't know about my husband home. No, it's our anniversary coming up in June, so we're still together.
Yay. Happy anniversary!
Well, thank you. It's coming. I got to not forget it this year. I forgot one year. He never lets me down. I don't know. We've been together since '97. So if you don't know me, my background is, for those out there, we joke around and some people are like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? I'm like, it's just because we've been together forever. Don't worry. You'll get there. You'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Exactly.
My family, like I have a lab background like you do, and then the rest of my family, nursing, coroners. My dad was homicide. So we have a little darker,
I like
darker
it.
look on things.
I
Some
like
people
it.
don't have that darkness in their family, and that's great. That's I would love to have a Disney family, but that's not it. We have the dark Adams family.
We
That's
could
our
have a whole conversation on dark families
oh
offline.
yep, yep, yep.
Offline. Ooh.
All right. Well, thank you, Nate, for joining us, and Dawn and everybody else out in the chat. If you guys want to give a thumbs up, and don't forget to check her out. I did post the link here, but I didn't put it in the description for my affiliate link. So I will add that as soon as we get offline here. I'll just go pop that into the description.
Yep. And
And
the coupon code reseller mom, all caps.
yes, thank you. And it's definitely something to try out. You don't have to, I tell people this all the time, whatever you're doing online and e-commerce and everything, you're not getting married, okay? Like you can try things out. You can try Walmart out if you don't like it. You can try Amazon out if you don't like it. You try Etsy out if you don't like it. So you're not getting married to any of these things for life, but they do help, and they bring a lot of good information to the table. If you just want to expand your learning and try things out, it can be life-changing for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me on.
All right. Oh, hold on. I did say I was going to pop in just the web pages again.
Yep, sure.
Oh my gosh. Things are popping up. There we go. Just to recap. There we go. I hit the right button. That helps. So Jessica Hill's Facebook page is down there. Her group, join her group. Even if you're not going to sign up today for anything, join the group so you can see what's coming out and what she offers and what some of the questions and answers are. Oh my gosh, you learned so much. Her Instagram account here is also down below. Her website, and this is her Gumroad, where all her products are for sale. I didn't put everything on there because she's also on Fiverr and 18 other different things.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. We have a Shopify store, yourbusinessstore.com too. I can get you the affiliate for that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Send that one over. I'll pop that one down below too.
Awesome.
Dawn says, do you have a class on Walmart? I guess
Yep. On ecommerceempowerment.com. Make sure you use Lucy's link. And we have the basics of selling on Walmart, setting up your Walmart store. So we have that course available. And then Esther is our e-commerce coach that can help you with that as well. Sweet. We have a whole suite of coaches that help us with all of it.
She's got everything. I mean,
I'm trying. It's a little overwhelming for new people, so I understand that, but we want to make sure that everybody, all the bases are covered. We want to be able to support everybody, that wants to sell online. Oh,
yeah. But I mean, just the amount of resources you have, I feel like you don't sleep. I don't
know. What's that? Last Tuesday I was sick. I slept 15 hours. I was like, I'm good for the month. Well, thank you for having me on. It was such a pleasure. And we'll have to do this again. Absolutely. Anytime, really.
Pretty much. We do need to do it more often. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you and take care. You just stay right there and I'll hit end broadcast.
All right.
All right. Have a great day, everyone.
All right.